Tonight, from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The excitement brewing here in South Florida as a moment ago the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Miami. Tyreek Hill on the return. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The KC offense set to go, led as always by the gunslinger, a former MVP in this league. It's Patrick Mahomes.
We know the arm strength is certainly there. He's got a big-time cannon for an arm. And that's not a surprise. He's the son of a former Major League pitcher, so the bloodlines come into play. The biggest question for Patrick Mahomes, can he harness that big arm, develop the touch that's needed, and carry his team towards the playoffs?
Mahomes now on first down. And incomplete to open things up. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
First and 10. Here's Mahomes. Complete. The tight end, Kelsey. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat-out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
Mahomes firing complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
A I like it. I like it. I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Looking to throw again on second down. Mahomes quickly to Kelsey. And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Samuel Aguavin makes the stop.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On second down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Delayed give there out of the gun. Defense was ready.
And I'm not a big fan of a draw play out of the shotgun formation because the quarterback's not having much action where he's getting away from the line of scrimmage. He's catching the football, making a little head fake, and then handing it off. You should be able to read it as they did there.
He'll find Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Gets past him at the 10, and he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'm not sure if this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and getting the ball to him. So, second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. They'll run with Edwards-Helaire. And the Chiefs are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as good running gets them down to about the 4-yard line. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
Second and goal from inside the 5. They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to take it into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Chiefs take it right down and score on the opening drive. And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, We're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnists write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And they'll begin by running the option. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
And if you're wondering just how quickly that sack occurred, the next-gen stats tell us 2.6 seconds is all he had to throw the football. Now the man from Kentucky, this is Lynn Bowden. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a second time.
Out of the gun on 3rd down, here's Tua. He'll get this complete to his running back, Bowden. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
So when you saw him dump it off to the back, did you think he was going to pick up the 1st down there?
Well, I knew one thing. It wasn't his primary target. At least it didn't look like it. Turned out to be the play they needed, though. And it's big because it's the opening drive. So converting that 3rd down, keeping the play, not the play, the drive going.
Yeah, it certainly appeared like his downfield targets were covered. He threw the little dump off to his back, and nice effort picking up the 1st down, though. And you're right. That opening drive, keep those chains moving.
On the ground, it's Bowden. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. Second down and 8. Here's Bowden. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. From the gun, it's Tua. Wide open receiver complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 46. They'll run it here with Bowden. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. Now it appears we've got a Chief moving pretty gingerly down there. We'll get an update when we come back to Hard Rock Stadium. They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Tua sets up to pass it, and his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mike Gesicki, and it's 3rd and 4.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else, ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here, 3rd and 4. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So 2 third-down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They run with Bowden. And credit the tackle to Taco Charlton with a stop. Second and 8 coming up. Now Tua. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
1st and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. They'll try to run this one in, and he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run, and the Dolphins are an extra point away from tying up this football game. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there. Each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Here's the dangerous Tyreek Hill. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive, and they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3-and-out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. From the shotgun, he'll throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Working from the gun, Mahomes. That's caught. It's Demarcus Robinson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 18 more yards there and another first down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. Two nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another strong gain on the last two plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Well, so far, little to no resistance by the defense on this drive alone. 3 passes, 3 completions, 3 first downs. They're taking it to them, and it's paying off.
On first down, Mahomes gets this one to Hill. Not much there, only a yard. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Mahomes to throw once more. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelce, on the touchdown pass. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
We're still in the first quarter, but it's apparent they're going to have to come up with a different defensive game plan for him because right now he's kind of having his way against that defense and has added a touchdown to the list. How do you slow him down? They're going to have to mix up some coverages, maybe change who's guarding him.
Butker on for the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drives 6 plays, 75 yards. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. So Miami coming out for their second drive. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes. but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Off of play action, he'll look to throw. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 49-yard line. Going to give this time to the tailback. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. Here's Tua. He finds his target, Fuller. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Tua going to throw. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll get an update when we come back to Miami. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the 2nd foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Mike Gesicki on the pass from Tua Tagovailoa. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from tying up this football game.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, Based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Sanders on for the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Tyreek Hill set to return it. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. KC's offense ready to take over. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Mahomes now on first down. That one complete to Hill. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Completes it to Hardman. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 41-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
These two teams all tied after one. Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here comes Edwards-Helaire on the toss right. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great. Because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Now Mahomes. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, so much for getting separation. No chance there. Locked down tight, forcing the incompletion on that attempt.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. Jakeem Grant back deep for Miami. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
On 2nd down, Tua. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 11 more on that one and another first down. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. From midfield, here's Tua. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 30. 19 yards the pickup there. Move the chains. Setting to throw on first down is Tua. It's complete to Parker left side. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. From the gun, it's Tua. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. Now a handoff looking right. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. He'll dump this one off to Bowden, complete. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23.
We can make this one pretty simple. Walked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Throw left side, complete. It's Parker. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now a handoff here to his running back. And the Chiefs' D closes in on him again, and they drop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and making sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown.
Let's go!
Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Dolphins have broken our tie as they take the lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Sanders now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it was Malcolm Brown who ended it with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Taken in the end zone, and Hill will opt for the touchback. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And he'll look underneath here for Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he?
And a loose football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
Following the fumble recovery, here's Tua. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Tua sets up to pass it. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Parker. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now a carry for Brown. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Tua. Now a short one to Gesicki. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Come on now.
It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin 1st down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Now thrown to Parker, complete on the slant. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It's a touchdown pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the 1st down.
Now they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. They'll try to run this one in. And this time he is in.
Yes.
Lynn Bowden with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. Nice execution there. Good job by the O-line getting him in for the 2nd time.
And you always have to start with credit there when you're having a big game. I mean, you don't get there by yourself. That's rare. But how about the ability to see the proper holes, pick the proper place to go, and find his way into the end zone?
Sanders on for the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Out comes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you. Yeah,
well, he doesn't need to change much personally. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 20. He'll set up to throw from the gun. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. They go play action. Now Mahomes. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
They had enough yards for the 1st down, but a clutch hit right there defensively. Jars it free, no 1st down.
Here's Tommy Townsend now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it'll be Dolphin football. Tua and the rest of the Dolphin offense heading back out. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now, he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Out of the gun, he'll throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first-half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
And incomplete, a disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And how does he rally the troops, so to speak? He's played well, but they're down big on the scoreboard. How does he get his guys going?
To make sure they understand it's not a me game, it's a team game. Everyone has to come together. Everyone has to up the level of play a little bit, including himself, and find a way to make some plays in order to give them a little bit of a spark and rally the team.
We'll see if they can indeed rally down big on the scoreboard right now. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
He's doing a little play with me, baby.
I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, not bad. He was pushing 20 miles an hour. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Mahomes to throw once more. And that is incomplete. So touchdowns on their first 2 drives, but looking like that won't be the case here.
Yeah, it looks like someone put their dukes up a little bit, doesn't it? Maybe decided to finally make a stand because those first 2 drives, they got run over. Now, finally, got their feet under them, got a little bit of balance. They're getting off the field.
Here's the Chiefs punter now as he's on to kick it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
2 now on first down. And throw right side complete to Parker. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Tua going to throw. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He gets this one complete to Bowden. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Lynn Bowden on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but his top 2 options were not available on that throw, so he went the safe route. Worked out pretty well.
It was like you were in the pocket. How about you going through the progressions like that? What a lot of offenses say, touchdown to check down. Look downfield first, bring it back to the line of scrimmage. Not easy for a rookie to do. Oftentimes they get 1 look, and they make their decision off of that. He went through 3. That was impressive.
And his kick is right through. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Fielded in the end zone, and Hill will opt for the touchback. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here? So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And it's knocked away and incomplete. DeMarcus Robinson, the intended target on that one. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
Mahomes will try again on 2nd down. And they'll go back to Robinson. This time he's got him. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 38-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. It was a very strong first half for our rookie quarterback. He's over 300 yards passing already. How high can he go? To find out, let's kick it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This is Jakeem Grant. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's found the end zone twice, and now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how's he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things down? Because he and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. They'll check this one down to Bowden, complete. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And to give this time to the tailback. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
They'll try it again with Bowden. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
Out of the gun on 3rd down. Here's Tua. And that will be incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw, it's Mahomes. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Working from the gun, Mahomes taking a deep shot here for Hardman and unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Here's the Chiefs punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. A 40-yard punt, no return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's had a touchdown for every quarter so far, 3 here in the 3rd, and probably hoping he's not done yet.
And this is a situation where it's okay to be greedy. When you've already scored 3 times, you want 4, you want more than that, and guess what? That only helps your team.
Yeah, so far 3, now in search of 4. Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's Tua. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. A gain there of 21 yards. Now a handoff here to his running back. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. 24 yards. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And that'll increase their lead to 28. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This taken in about 4 yards deep, and Hill will opt for the touchback. The Chiefs ready to rock again on offense. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who could make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 35. Now, look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
49, guys. Mike, 49.
Mahomes now to throw. They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Mahomes to throw. He's got Burton here. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Now it's Mahomes again. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line.
Now, I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame, but if you look at the great linebackers in history, they all have that ability to innately sense where a play is going, sometimes even before the ball snapped, and they're there, and they end up making the play.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Dolphins defense is able to hold. Getting set to go again on offense, here's Devontae Parker now. He's been a load for them to handle defensively, I know that much.
Well, look at him. He's got 7 catches on the game, and he's starting to shred them a little bit because not only is he catching them, he's picking up good yardage, keeping the chains moving, ball control, you name it. This big guy, what did you say? He's been a load for them to handle?
That's right.
Agreed.
7 catches, as you said, over 100 yards. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 21. Off play action, he'll throw to start the drive. He's going to let one go deep for Parker. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
2nd down and goal. Mahomes, the quick slant caught. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelce, on the touchdown pass. And thanks to the interception, the Chiefs offense cashes in with 6. So he's hit pay dirt twice, but still they're facing that deficit here in the second half.
So they're going to see if they can continue to find ways to get him the football, because obviously something is working for him to find the end zone twice. In any event, however this turns out, he's going to be hard to deal with in the film room, isn't he? He's going to want to know why he's not getting more passes thrown to him.
Those big tight ends are getting greedy. And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Jakeem Grant now to return. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Do that again, bro. Do it again.
Tua Tagovailoa in the offense heading back out. And the yardage just continues to pile up. We're still in the 3rd quarter. He's had a heck of a game.
Keep your calculator handy, because these numbers are skyrocketing. Loving watching what he's doing right now, because what do we call it, in the zone?
Yeah, he's in the zone.
I think he's in the zone plus right now. Everything is like a laser.
See if he can stay in that zone. Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. He's turning in a pretty impressive performance running the football, and a big reason why they have this nice lead.
And in days gone by, we would clip this out and put it up on the refrigerator, wouldn't we? Clip out the box score. Nowadays, not too many newspapers out there. Maybe you screenshot it online.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throw Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Now a short one to Gesicki. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup there. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 3.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 49-yard line. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. A gain of 3, 2nd down. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he's taken down inside the 30. 16 yards, a first down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Setting to throw on first down is Tua. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 14. Tua to Parker there for the Miami first. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. A great move in there, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. And to give this time to the tailback. 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
Not too many more ideal situations than 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
They'll try and run it in with Brown. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
It's a nice second effort we just saw there, so I'm trying to get to the end zone, but a lot of times near the goal line, that second effort can lead to disaster. Make sure you hold on to the football, because there's going to be guys swarming when you're carrying it.
And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. They'll try to run this one in. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
We all know how much running backs love getting the ball down near the goal line. They think they're going to find a way into the end zone. He hasn't had that kind of luck so far. Ends up not getting in on the last 2 carries. You know he's going to be upset about a missed opportunity.
And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? Here's Tua. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Mike Gesicki on the pass from Tua Tagovailoa. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. Solid response that time by a young quarterback. Last drive interception, this drive the touchdown pass.
I like how you described it solid because you don't get extra kudos for bouncing back if you're going to be a big-time quarterback. You're supposed to do that. But at the same time, when you're a rookie, that's not guaranteed, is it? Sometimes they hang their heads and they go in the tank a little bit. Not in this case. Bounced back, took his team downfield, and threw a touchdown pass.
And that'll increase their lead to 28. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And Hill will opt for the touchback. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Out of the gun, he'll throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Mahomes going to throw. And his throw is incomplete. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
On 1st down, Mahomes. He'll find his running back, Edwards-Helaire. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, All I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
And Robinson with a big catch. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his second touchdown of the night. And the Chiefs are able to cut into this lead. Great call to hand that one off, and his running back did the rest.
Someone read their keys correctly, and on the defensive side of the ball, they certainly did not, because they really essentially were just going to swarm the quarterback. They kind of guessed themselves out of the play, and guess who benefited? The guy with the football.
And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken in the end zone. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He starts the drive by handing it to Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
And every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
And we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
On 2nd down now, it's Brown, and he'll take this close to a first down at the Chiefs' 37. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. That time they're able to bottle him up, and he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And some room to roam now. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Lynn Bowden, 37 yards. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. So that one, an 8-play drive, it spans 75 yards. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The return man is Hill. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Come on now, let's do this.
And now here comes Kansas City. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs on 1st and 10 at their own 27. And right away, he'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Throwing now is Mahomes. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Christian Wilkins able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot.
That right now, That's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
The Chiefs on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 8. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
After what they faced during this game where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. And it's complete to Kelsey. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. And again, it's Mahomes. The tight end, Kelsey, has it over the middle. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Mahomes to throw once more. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
49.
Now Mahomes got to have this one. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, it all came together on that one, didn't it?
Big-time throw on 4th.
Now that had to feel good, didn't it? Taking that type of a gamble there and making it pay off. What a throw.
And tough as a receiver because no matter how perfect the pass, you know it's 4th down and you got to convert.
A little bit of extra pressure, but he overcame it.
Mahomes firing complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Give him 13 yards there and a Kansas City 1st down. And now he's closing in on 450 yards passing.
That's an incredible number. I mean, you're talking about the best defenders in the world that you're trying to throw the ball against, and you're creating that type of a number. Fantastic job, fantastic performance, and he's going to have to ice up his arm afterwards, too.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey, and inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column, but as a defense, They don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred the defense.
That catch, I believe, will put him right at 200 yards for the game. Indeed, it does. 200 yards, he's been incredible. And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Do you think after that last run they're thinking to themselves, we had to wait all day to play this night game, and we're still not able to run the ball the way we want to?
Yeah, this defense, they've risen to the challenge all evening long. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs are able to draw a bit closer. So the touchdown there, and that play, the tap pass, so simple, Charles, on the face of it, but what makes it so difficult for defenses to stop?
I think it's the precision and the quickness in which the play occurs, because the snap gets to the quarterback. He's essentially playing volleyball with it, just immediately just shoveling it forward. And when that receiver is at a full head of steam, if you don't take the edge away, he's got a chance to get to the corner and get upfield. But if you take the edge away, that's your chance to disrupt that play.
And no disruption there, that's for sure, as it winds up 6 points. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Dolphins are going to recover. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They defer to Brown to start the drive, and he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a 1st down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. From the gun, it's Tua. He finds his target, Fuller. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And to give this time to the tailback. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. 2 yards on the first down carry and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. Throwing is Tagovailoa on third down here. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a fourth down here to gain the... Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And it's complete. They're going to get the first. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
When we drop defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Sanders on for the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The dangerous Hill now to return. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So now here are the Chiefs as their offense makes their way back out onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. He had to absorb another little bump there from the defense, another incomplete pass. We've seen a lot of that tonight.
They've come after him all night long. Nothing but pressure in his face. He's trying to stand up there and make throws. It's hard enough to do when the pocket is clear. When you got all those people in front of you, almost impossible to have a good completion percentage.
Now a desperation throw, deep down. Oh, wide open, complete. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
49's the mic. Watch 49.
From the gun, it's Mahomes. On the crossing route, complete. It's Robinson. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A little over 20 yards there, and in 2 plays, they've now moved the ball over 60 yards. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. That is caught inside the 5. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs are able to cut into this lead.
Well, after another passing touchdown, I don't think it'd be an understatement to say that he's in the zone, and I believe he likes it.
Butker now to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this carries into the end zone. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And he'll give it here to his running back. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They go with Brown. Room here to run. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Dolphins are winners here as we say so long from South Florida.